Hi guys, welcome to an all new video, and today we're going to be talking about not an Indian film, we're not talking about Bollywood cinema, we're talking about an English language film, an American film, one of my favorite childhood movies, American Ninja. Now, this movie came out in 1980s. The exact year is 1985. One of those amazing martial arts treasures a lot of people consider to be so bad it's good. I don't think it falls in the category of so bad it's good. My suspension of disbelief is, let's just say, it's a superpower. I can sit through a lot of movies that people would consider to be below average and still have a really good time. I grew up on a diet of B-grade Indian language cinema, and what that is, we will explore in the coming videos. I want to talk about this film because I honestly believe that this film is loved by a lot of filmmakers that are out there today. I have seen so many scenes in this film that have probably inspired a lot of Indian films. And I also appreciate the honest intention in this filmmaking where they took inspiration from a lot of good cinema. So their standards were really high. But did they meet those standards? And what is this film and why do I like it so much? Let's jump right into American Ninja. We start American Ninja with the very typical 1980s soundtrack. I just love the sound of 1980s. Retro, especially the synthetic sounds. It seems like any other military base, but what are these soldiers doing? They're playing hacky sack. So obviously now you're thinking that a senior officer is going to come in and, straighten them out. And the senior officer comes in, and let's see what he does.
Hold on, I'll teach you girls how to play.
He joins them playing hacky sack. So I understand this is like a very cool unit that are so tied in that there's no friction. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody's part of the same gang. You could look at it like maybe they didn't do any research and they didn't really take any troubles to find out how the military actually functions. Plus, there's a stranger on base. And that's when we meet our lead protagonist, Joe.
We need an extra guy to even up the size.
And not only is Joe just chilling out on base and not being part of the hacky sack game, Joe's playing with the switchblade. Half the other soldiers are not even in shape. So we're clearly made to realize that Joe definitely is our lead and he is the hero.
What's his problem? I don't know, it's a new guy, he just got here yesterday.
So Joe is introduced as a hero, and then obviously we gotta introduce some kind of love interest. So that will be the general's daughter. After that is done, we go into the best dying sounds ever captured on film. And it really prepares you for what is gonna come for the rest of the movie.
Get rid of it.
Music by Michael Lynn, and only reason I'm mentioning is this because this person has probably worked the hardest on this film. Every little thing has a musical cue to it. I think it really keeps you going because the music will change faster than the expression of these actors ever could. And I think the music really accentuates and balances out some of the performance that are lacking.
Who is he?
I don't know.
The movie starts and this convoy is on the way. They've got a lot of military supplies and they're also taking the general's daughter to the base. And a truck blocks the way, or like a road roller blocks the way, And Joe's the first one to stick his head out, and he knows some shit's about to go down. Guess what? The ninjas were only going there to attack trucks and trucks full of soldiers. They were ready for that. What they were not ready for was Joe, the American ninja. The general's daughter, Patricia, she's only in this movie to be saved by Joe or to be kidnapped by the bad guys. It's a really shallow character, but at least they didn't try to put any other complexity to this character. They were really honest with that, hey, this character is only there to advance certain plot points, but her delivery.
Charlie, what are you waiting for? Step on it. We are in a hurry. You are crazy. Do you know that? These are my favorite shoes. How? Did you look at me? Look at my shirt. Look at my hair. It's a mess.
I mean, you talk about consistency. Her delivery is the same. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the emotion is. So I think a really consistent performance, because you know they know what this character is there for. It's just to make Joe go out and kick some more ass.
This was your idea?
This movie has one of the first scenes where the bad guys disguise themselves as road crew, and this is a trick still used in cinema even today.
No problem. Just rush hour.
What's going on here?
Just pull over to the side. Take a second.
But look at this guy's commitment to the role. He's not doing what they do now. He's actually pretending to be friendly.
Good morning.
Morning.
In the initial scene, they have all the soldiers at gunpoint. But when the bad guys go after the general's daughter, Joe just breaks free. And no one will shoot him. They have him at gunpoint, but they can shoot him. But no, they're like, oh my god, we ain't ever seen a guy like this before. And he's able to use that distraction, ninja brain, to go and rescue the general's daughter. I honestly don't know what's better, whether it's the sound effects or the music. But the first action scene really lets you know if you're the kind of person who's going to continue watching this film or not. After they start engaging in a battle with the soldiers, when the soldiers are starting to get back an upper hand on the terrorist extremists, the bad guys, that's when the ninjas show up. Oh, and just to let you know, it's not like those ninjas just showed up. Those ninjas have been hiding in that tree overnight, probably. Because you remember what Liam Neeson said.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Ninja understands that invisibility is a matter of patience and agility.
This one ninja, he can reverse time. That's not just going back, that's reversing time. A really important lesson for any self-defense: use whatever you can find. This lady doesn't hesitate using blades of grass to fight off a dude with a machine gun. So the Black Star Ninja, the antagonist, well, one of the antagonists, realizes that Joe is no ordinary guy, and he's pretty sure that Joe is also a ninja. So the Black Star Ninja is played by Tadashi Yamashita, and he does a really good job. The character of Patricia, her performance remains consistent, even when Joe rips her skirt apart.
What are you gonna do with that? What?
Her dialogue delivery is exactly the same as before.
You, my dear, are going to town and buy me new shoes and new skirt.
Michael Dudikoff has a six-pack, and you gotta respect that.
They should be dry pretty soon.
As soon as Patricia sees that six-pack, she's in love with Joe. There's a scene of a really honest moment of acting by the general where Jackson asked him,
Have you ever heard of ninjutsu, sir?
What's that? What's that? What's that?
Secret art of assassination.
Yeah, of course I have.
like you asked me, oh, do ketchup goes with fries? And I didn't know that. And then I realized that everybody knows that. I'll be like, yeah, of course I know that.
Have you ever heard of ninjutsu, sir?
What's that?
The secret art of assassination.
Yeah, of course I have.
And I think that's the actor's actual reaction. You can see this concept of putting things in the foreground that became really popular in the movies, Bollywood movies of the 80s and 90s. And you can see it done really well here.
Another incident like this, I might have to shut down the entire operation.
Nah, everybody in the army hates Joe. They blame him for everything that went wrong. And they were like, if you didn't act like a hero, they wouldn't have attacked us and so many soldiers wouldn't have died. He's been told that he's going to get court-martialed, and I think they were really inspired by Full Metal Jacket as well. So again, that's a really high benchmark to have, and it really comes through in one of the scenes. I'll probably show you a clip off later. Yeah, and he's not a general, he's a colonel, but whatever. He is the commander of this base, and even he doesn't really know who Joe is.
Date of birth, unknown. Parents, unknown. Next of kin, unknown.
Here we get to see some Enter the Dragon influence. Again, a great inspiration to have. Yeah, and then we get some backstory about like this guy who was earlier hiding in the background. He's apparently just a gardener who doesn't speak. He's a soldier, blah, blah, blah.
Bought the estate. He was hiding in the jungle. In uniform, a Japanese soldier who was unaware for many years that the war was over.
And at this point in the film, we're introduced to his whole secret army, his secret lair. The villain. I really don't even remember what his name is. The character's called Ronaldo. Yeah, so he's literally made out to be like Han from Enter the Dragon. In his ninja camp, everything is so overdone. And you would think that, oh my God, it's so bad. No. It's really insightful, because if you had a really big business and you were having your clients come over, you would make your employees work extra hard or make them appear like they're working extra hard. And that's exactly what this bad guy Ronaldo was doing. These ninjas are not training like this every day. This is not every routine, but they know, oh my God, the investors are coming over. So he's told everybody, man, hey man, just one day, make it look good, make it look like you're training hard, and we're gonna be richer by, I don't know, I think it's $4 million or whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
You can tell that the Black Star Ninja, he really hates this part of the job. He hates doing all this exhibition. And so now that every soldier on base hates him and he's about to be court-martialed, we come to one of the most interesting moments of the film. It's time for a showdown. Joe versus Jackson.
Some kind of a tough guy. A karate boy.
So in this part, we get to see how skilled Jackson is, because we already know that Joe is really skilled because he is the American Ninja. But Jackson is able to, hold his own for a little bit before he gets his ass whipped by Joe. But Jackson has that anime style down, with the magic fingers. Like, come on, come on. Woo! He's got that down.
Show me what you do.
But it's not enough for him to beat you. He has to embarrass you. So he takes a water bucket and puts it on his head.
What's this?
Jackson, mess him up now!
What is this?
On his own head. So he can fight you blindfolded. But it's not just blindfolded. He's blindfolded by the water bucket, which is made of metal. So he also has a weight on his head. So this is some sort of resistance training as well.
I'm Jackson.
Joe.
And yeah, anyone who's about to talk shit about this movie, about like, oh look, it's got homoerotic themes. This movie is a forward-thinking movie, okay? These guys are secure males, and they're okay with touching each other. And you didn't have a problem when Rocky did it. I really love Sarge's accent. Knock it off. It's not worth it.
He started it.
Sarge, you got it wrong.
Knock it off. He's not worth it. The guy's trouble. Move it.
I'm not doing it justice, but like he's doesn't sound like a Sarge at all. He straight up sounds like a mafia boss or something. Not worth it. Hey, knock it off. He's so much of a mafia boss that he's always got like a stogie in his mouth. So whatever that, the lieutenant wants to go on a date, but he's got duty. So he wants Jackson to send someone on the date for him, or to send someone so basically Patricia doesn't even know that she's got a date with him. Okay, he knows that Patricia is going to be at the club, so he says, oh, I got a date. So instead of letting him go, Jackson makes his ass stay on base and sends Joe to the club instead, and Joe leaves for a date in style.
He's gonna do what I think he's gonna do.
Dude, the stuntman takes a knock to the head. It's a really hard stunt because these ramps are huge. And because, you know, I think the stuntman is lighter in weight, and the motorcycle that he's on is lighter because it has to fly quite a distance. But a lighter motorcycle doesn't look as cool when you're driving it slow. So they switched them up, but it's good. You know, the date goes on, but remember, this is a movie that I watched as a kid, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be boring. Now it's gonna be more romantic stuff. But the movie doesn't disappoint, because at the club, Joe spots the bad guy, and he also sees Sarge sitting with the bad guy. So we already, if you didn't guess by his mafia boss, Boston kind of accent, and the fact that he's always got a cigar in his mouth, and the fact that he hates Joe, if you didn't guess that he was bad based on all of this, so now there's the final clue where Sarge is sitting down and having a meal, or more like having some drinks with the bad guy. And now that Sarge spotted Joe the night before at the club, he knows that Joe's not supposed to be there. Joe's probably supposed to be at base. We get a brilliant performance from Sarge. Sarge probably watched the scene from Full Metal Jacket.
Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant? Nobody, huh? The very fucking godmother said it. I'm fucking standing. I will PT you all until you fucking die. I'll PT you until your assholes are sucking buttermilk. Was it you scroungy little fuck, huh, sir?
So obviously the Sarge watched the scene with the gunnery sergeant yelling at all the privates from Full Metal Jacket, and he does his best to reenact that scene.
I understand you like to do extra duties, Charlie, do you?
No, sir.
No! I heard yesterday you volunteered to do some, didn't you?
You know, you gotta admire the inspiration, but I think it turns out more like this other scene from this Bollywood movie, Mehuna.
How dare you! How dare you! Tumhari himmat kaise hui?
But this movie confirms that this is like the universal gesture for not giving a fuck. Like, you don't care.
Where is everyone?
I love the parts when these dudes just get thrown out of the windows.
A few moments later.
You know, they're all sugar glass anyway. Look, this part is exactly like any scene in Indiana Jones, okay? They just don't have like a really big budget, but it's kind of exactly the same. This guy does the classic mistake of laughing too soon, like being proud of his achievements too soon while he's driving the truck. Because he thinks he killed Joe, but Joe is actually using him to get to their secret headquarters. Alright, so this is going to be the wrap on part 1 of American Ninja, one of the greatest movies ever made. If you've never watched it, please go watch it, and I'm definitely going to be working on part 2 soon. I just didn't realize this would take up my entire day off. Thank you, and I'll be back really soon. Bye-bye. Have a fabulous day.
These symbols will focus the ultimate power of purpose